I'll say the same to you.
Okay, 5 o'clock is called to order. Kelly, please. Matt, you may want to, Chief, you may want to, that sounds awful loud. I don't know if I'm blowing people. Yeah, a little bit of feedback, so you may want to drive that down just a hair.
I just learned from the mayor that it's required by law that everybody has to see our faces.
Yeah, I know, but this is nice. I like it.
I like it too.
Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to go into, I'm going to jump right into citizens' comments up front.
15, 20 minutes, I'm gonna get up and leave.
This is an opportunity for members of the public to suggest the addition of topics for the discussion or to address topics of interest with the presentations limited to 3 minutes, please. All speakers will conduct themselves in an orderly and lawful manner. All speakers will be recognized prior to speaking and will announce their name and address to be included in the minutes. State law prohibits the mayor and members of the city council from commenting on any statement or engaging in dialogue without an appropriate agenda item being posted in accordance with the Texas open meeting laws. So we are going to start with Mr. Coates. For those not familiar, we got our little fancy lights, so it'll go yellow and then green if you're not familiar with it, so.
I won't need the 3 minutes, I promise. My name is William Coates. I live at 5 Jadson Mine Drive, Belton, or here in Morgan's Point, of course. What I wanted to talk about, I've already addressed with BJ a little while ago. There are some severe potholes on Jasmine. Chief, I recommend you not let your officers come down Jasmine until they're filled, okay? Because their vehicles are going to bottom out. Especially if the water's over the road, they're not going to see the potholes. The potholes are now about 2.5 feet deep. And then there's potholes, multiple potholes on Bramble Bush just off the Blue Bonnet. BJ's already told me that tomorrow morning he or someone from his section will come and try to take a look at it and see if I can road base back down towards it again. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, y'all bear with me for just a minute because this Chief Schuetze steered me wrong on this. How'd that bus feel? Would you reset that for me? I hit the wrong button.
So we'll just hit custom.
Yeah.
And it starts.
Yeah.
And then stop it. So next one, just hit custom.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Payne.
I'm here, my name is Ron Payne, and I'm here to speak for Ms. Rosado. I'm requesting a consideration of a denial from the zoning board, the Planning and Zoning Board, where a denial was due because a denial letter was sent because of our lack of presence. We had misunderstanding regarding that, and I'm wrote a letter requesting a reconsideration of the Airbnb for 18 Robbins Circle here in town. I mentioned, may I read the letter, part of the letter?
Yes, sir. You can read that. Yeah, you've got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, I'll try to do it fast. Mr. Rudado understands the importance and protection of the neighborhood's peace, safety, and quality of life. For that reason, she is willing to comply with any applicable city ordinances, occupation limits, parking requirements, noise restriction, safety standards, tax obligations, and reasonable conditions imposed by the city council. Her short-term rental use can be related through the reasonable conditions. Deriving the permit places an unreasonable burden on the rights of the property owner. Approval would allow the property to continue positively to the local community, and any concerns can be addressed through the clear rules, enforcement, and responsibility management. She is asking the city council to take a look at the facts and the potential benefits and her willingness to comply with city requirements before allowing the denial to stand. Therefore, she respectfully requests that council overturn the Planning and Zoning Board denial and approve for a specific use permit to operate Airbnb short-term rental at the aforementioned address, subject to any reasonable conditions the council deems appropriate. Thank you for your time, consideration, and service to our community. She appreciates the opportunity to appeal the decision and respectfully ask for your support.
Okay.
Any questions?
This is an agenda item, so when it comes back around, council will have that
Thank you.
opportunity. So, okay, thank you, sir. That's right on time.
You got in under the. Now you have to learn how to shut it off. It says stop, that helps.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take this thing home and practice with it. Okay, Mr. Hinkins.
I'll keep this much shorter than I intended. Mike Hankins, Tanyard Road next to Oak Mountain Park. A former city manager named Huseman put speed bumps in front of my house and one down into the park. They're not very high and they're not very wide. We have found that pickup trucks, tires are bigger than an average car, and lately they have not been slowing down at all. Sunday morning, I was very happy to see the police chasing a white pickup down into the park with his lights going. The only thing I can figure out to rectify this, other than getting speed humps, would to make Timberline and Tanyard a three-way stop so that they have to stop in both directions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, citizens, for being here. Residents, a couple announcements that kind of went out of order there. So first, obviously to my right is Miss Carly Pearson, new city manager, so she is here. It has been a whirlwind week for all of us, especially her. And she'll have an opportunity to chat with you here shortly, and we'll be around. So we'll tell you a couple things. For those that have already tried to reach out to her, she is working with the IT folks to get her stuff up and running. I don't mean to steal your thunder, but so just be patient on that. We understand that. We're working through that. So welcome. It's good to have you on board.
Good to be here.
Couple general announcements. This is for our residents, our staff, council as a governing body, so, and me. One of the things that I've been doing, I'll try to be as brief as I can. One of the things that I've been doing, I probably spent more time with Ms. Pearson over the last 8 days or 7 days, whatever days it is. Day six. They all run together. Than the previous couple months prior in the city manager's office. So I will throw myself under the bus there, Chief. Couple things that I want the residents to know, council to know. We have not been doing everything by the letter of the law. There's the way I have kind of framed it in my head. There's a nice way, there's a right way, there's a legal way. We've been doing a lot of things the nice way. And like it or not, the law says we have to change the way we do business. You'll notice the way the dais is arranged. There's a couple reasons for that. I personally like it. I hope you do too. But there are some other things that I have been doing incorrectly as far as managing our meetings. There are some things that, don't take it personal, that you as residents have been doing incorrectly during our meetings. And we're gonna course correct that kind of stuff. So I know.
Council people.
And council, yes, yeah, absolutely. And I am gonna take the heat of that because, you know, what is your phrase? Barnyard?
Barnyard.
Yeah, barnyard discussions. Well, so I'm just giving you a heads up. I just want you to know that it's not personal, but moving forward, there are gonna be some things that we as a governing body are gonna be working hard to course correct with Ms. Pearson's guidance. And then I'm going to be asking you as residents to work with us on that. The idea is, this last week, the word that has popped into my head is efficiency, and that's what I told her. I want the city to become efficient. I think we can be much more efficient than we are here and citywide. So I just want to get that out of the way so you guys know where we're coming from. So moving on to the agenda. First thing up is a presentation from the Solar Soccer Club Presentation Council. That has been postponed until further notice. Spoke with them. They're still bringing some stuff to us, so she's moving forward for the next item up. So just so you know, that has been postponed until further notice. So we will move on to the regular agenda. First item is discussion item 26066.
So, but they're still full steam ahead and it's real positive still.
Yes, they are
okay.
out there. They are.
Playing soccer.
Yep, they're doing their thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
So, and I can fill you in on the technicalities and all. It was, I did them wrong, so, as far as timing. Discussion on 26066, review and discuss the minutes of special session council meeting on May 12th, 2026, and our presenter is the city secretary.
Okay, so I have brought and reviewed edits to minutes for May 27th, and per the audio and visual recordings, I deem them as correct, and I would recommend for council to approve them.
27th, you said?
Yeah, for the
Okay.
12th, and the 12th, there are no edits to, but the 27th, there are edits to.
What are these
Oh.
edits here on the
Where
12th?
are the 27th edits?
Oh, it's the 12th edit. I'm sorry, it's the
Oh,
12th
okay,
edits, not
okay.
the 27th. I do apologize.
Yes. Okay, we've got those. Is there
Council,
anything you
any-
want to point out, or we'll just vote on it at our regular meeting, or?
Yeah, you'll just vote on that. I recommend that they be approved as presented.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? Okay, and that was both 066 and 067 with the
Correct.
minutes. So next item up is discussion item 25068, which is discuss and consider Joel Guzman, EDC Director with term ending December 31, 2027. Our city secretary is going to cover that one as well.
I would also like to welcome Joelle to the EDC as an EDC Director with a term ending December 31st, 2027, and would like to recommend that to council for approval as well.
She'll be here at the regular meeting?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Or somebody from EDC will be here at the regular meeting?
I don't.
I got a message from Linda saying that she was unable to make it this evening, which is why Kelly is presenting. So I
Okay.
don't know who's going to be here on behalf
Because
of
their
EDC.
minutes aren't formalized yet to show that the board has authorized that, so, yeah, okay.
Council, any additional discussion? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So then, if they haven't authorized, if their minutes haven't shown they authorized it, then are we not able to authorize
Well,
tonight?
they had a meeting, and I'm assuming that they appointed her. But since they don't have minutes yet, it's not documented.
Okay.
That's why I was hoping if somebody's here from EDC, they could say verbally,
Validate.
The
Yeah.
council makes the appointment.
okay. So we don't need the board to recommend anything, okay? Another correction on my part.
This is very different, by the way, having to go hard right, hard left. They just kind of go. Tick, tick, tick. So,
Pretend you're playing tennis, right?
and Nick is gonna, yeah, so,
Get your
okay.
exercise.
No additional discussion on 068. I'll move on. Discussion item 25069, discuss and consider the appeal request for the special use permit at 18 Robin Circle. Mr. Hobbs.
Just want to welcome Ms. Pearson to the council meeting. Okay, on our agenda item for 18 Robbins Circle, short-term rental and Airbnb request. As y'all are aware, that was denied at the P&Z level, mainly due to the fact we did not have a representative available so we could ask questions and be able to clear any comments that might be coming at that point. Currently, P&Z is reviewing regulations and guidelines for short-term rental and B&B requests, and we feel like these guidelines, right now, we're looking at those for Chapter 4 of our ordinances right now. Some of the guidelines are in other ordinances and will need to be coordinated into one spot for a more effective enforcement. Something that we're continuing to work on, and it'll be coming to City Council as we as the P&Z is able to bring that together. The requester was given denial appeal rights via a letter concerning no representation at the May 12th P and Z meeting. The requester filed an appeal to City Council, which will be held at our current meeting tonight. Public notification, we had a public hearing on May the 12th. The meeting opened at 6:20 and closed at 6:25. No notified residents within the 200 feet radius were at that particular meeting, but we did receive via email a picture of some parking issues and also another letter that had some concerns about safety and traffic in the particular area. So right now, our recommendation on City Council is a review of the appeal request and determine the outcome for the special use permit for 18 Robbins Circle. I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody might have.
I have a question.
Sure.
At the last meeting and hearing what was said, it sounded like there might be some issue with another short-term rental close by.
Correct.
And that could have put a negative connotation on this one.
Correct.
But it wasn't necessarily that this one is going to be a problem, because it sounds like they have plenty parking and all that. So at this point, would you have a real serious concern about us approving it?
Right, and we're not, we don't know for absolutely sure that there's one real close. In the ordinances that we're working on, some of those ordinances have a guideline for short-term rentals and Airbnbs no closer than 500 feet within each other. I think the one in Belton right now also has a 500-foot limitation. We don't have anything in our ordinances right now that indicates that.
Okay.
That is something that we are going to be bringing up to see if we do put that type of a guideline in place. But right now, it's not in our ordinances.
So how does that work? Is that like first come, first serve? Like if I'm the first one to come and get a short-term rental, then my neighbors can't get one? Do I block them out?
If you're within that radius, if it gets approved, I would say that it would be probably denied at that point.
Seems like that would be against property rights in the
Right.
state of Texas.
And I think that's part of the issue. I think the House bill was at 2464 that got passed on property rights for residents in Texas. May limit that. I know Belton's going through some discussion about that right now. They had a piece in the paper here several weeks ago where some of them wanted to move that 500 feet down to 100 feet. They did not change it at that particular discussion, but it evidently is still out there. So we don't have a proposal to give you right now of how close they can be.
Sure.
So, right now, I think we're just gonna leave it up to City Council to determine if
Well, I
we
think
do.
it's probably a legal issue.
I think it is. If I was on the side of somebody who wanted to get one and was excluded for a 500-foot, I certainly make the argument that the Supreme Court's determined that you have the right to have the highest and best use of your property, and the fact that somebody has one within a certain distance, should not infringe on that constitutional right.
Right. So you might want to take that legal advice into consideration as you draft your ordinance.
We will. I mean, we'll be bringing that back. We're not quite there yet, but we'll be making that consideration.
Ken, how far apart are the two properties in question?
We don't know this as a fact, but we do know that we think they're almost next door to each other.
They are next door to
They
each
are
other.
next to each other.
And one has some gravel in the front yard, and the property that now wants to be an
Has a
Airbnb.
driveway and a two-car garage.
Double driveway, double garage, plus gravel in the front. And so the picture that we saw was of, parked cars, and that was next door. I'm very familiar with that area.
I am too.
I think you're right. I mean, the email that we got was from a former resident of Morgan's Point Resort.
I know.
And we had that letter, and he was the one that sent that picture that he had on a weekend. I'm sure that there was evidently some rental activity going on at that point.
And that's an existing condition, and he's within his rights
Right.
to call up Matt and say, Matt, I think this is violation of, noise or whatever it is, parking, or if that property is in violation, those neighbors can call up and report it.
Absolutely,
But it doesn't have anything to do with the new property.
right,
Right, okay.
right.
Understand that you now have a new city manager who is much younger and much smarter than I am, who also has a law degree. So
She's being awfully quiet.
you need to be relying on her opinions also on these.
We will definitely be doing that.
And I will be meeting, I think, next week. So
We are,
or
Monday,
this is one of our
9
topics
o'clock,
on
yep.
discussion.
Thank you.
Anything else, son? Good.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, council, next up is discussion item 25070, which is discuss and consider the 2026 strategic work plan. Essentially, the plan is to pick up where we left off with item 3. For your information, residents, here is one of the things that we have been doing incorrectly, and that is conducting some workshop business, moving into regular session, and then going back to workshop. Not technically correct, so we will no longer be doing that. So council, for your awareness tonight, we have about 30 minutes before I would like to break and before the regular session. So essentially, we will open for discussion item 25070, which is the 2026 strategic work plan. We will get as far as we can on that in the next 30 minutes to find a good stopping point. And then whatever we do not accomplish, we will carry forward into another meeting, a workshop, yeah.
Can I make a suggestion on that?
Certainly.
We are so close, and this is a draft, and I'm hoping we can get through the last couple categories. But if we don't, I would like to discuss going ahead and moving this forward to the city manager and the department heads for them to start reviewing. I don't know how long they need to review it, but then we can have a joint workshop.
That's a good plan.
Have a joint workshop with council and Carly and our directors to go ahead and finalize the plan and get it, monetized into our budget. So I think we can get it done, but if not, it's still a draft, so they're gonna get a crack at it and we'll get another crack at it. So I don't wanna slow the process.
No, I think that is absolutely, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's achievable even in 30 minutes, just because
Yeah.
you guys seemed to hit your stride last time,
Yeah.
about halfway through. So with that, I will shut up and let you guys begin. Dorothy, do you want to pick up on number 3?
Actually, yeah, so we got through the front part, which is SWOTs, strengths and weaknesses and threats and opportunities, and the primary pillars of our goals, which have not changed probably in 4 years, which is financial accountability and sustainability, roads and infrastructure, communication and transparency, and enhanced safety and emergency preparedness. And then we went ahead and reviewed some goals under each of those pillars. And so the pillar that we're on right now is communications and transparency. And I don't know if anybody wants to walk us through that, or if you have some changes that you want to.
Fine with you doing it.
Okay.
Are you fine?
We are still struggling with communications, as I sit here and struggle with words. Communications with our residents, with each other, and as Jimbo said at the very beginning, we're going to be making some changes. So bear with us on this. We need to have timely, accurate, and transparent communications to our residents on everything, on operations, on project status, on emergencies like a broken water main or something going on in the community, a weather alert, and community events. And it's kind of hit and miss right now, so if we could kind of get that under an umbrella, that might help. Some of the areas we talked about were, Code Red, and we've been trying to roll out, Dia's been trying to roll out Code Red, but we still only have, how many people on it? Okay, so we have almost 5,000 residents, and I bet over 3,000 of them, 3,500 of them are adults and can join Code Red, and we only have a fraction of that on Code Red. So we need to encourage Code Red, we need to have a rollout plan, so that when issues come up, especially a water break, and especially if you're at work and you are being told you need to boil your water, but yet, you know, you're not home to know that. So we need a way to communicate with you. Community events, I think we've talked to each of the city manager candidates. I think Carly said that she does want to implement a status reporting mechanism, not just for council, but for residents. And I know she's big on town halls. And so as a goal, we want to have more of those. Dee is also working on our website platform. The website is difficult to navigate, is what I would say. I mean, if you know where things are, then you can find them. But if you don't, the search function does not work very well at all. And so it's a great platform. We're on Civic Plus. A lot of people are on Civic Plus, but we haven't kept up with the software updates that have come out. And so we're going to try to get up to date on that and then look at what features are available. I mean, we might only be using 30% of the features that are out there on Civic Plus. They've got a lot, it's very robust. So that's a project.
So Dorothy, excuse me, are we gonna go through these step by step on number 3?
Interject. You know how I
Okay.
like to work. So
Okay.
if you want to change something as I'm talking, please, I hate to just hear myself talk, so. Did you have something you wanted to modify?
Well, no, I was just I wasn't quite following it, just where we started. I thought we were
Oh,
gonna go through
three.
each at 3.1.
Okay, so I'm down to 3.2 on the website.
On the website.
It says enhance transparency and public access to city information through effective use of the current website platform, Civic Plus.
I think I don't have the same one you have.
It's my understanding
I
we
got it
also have approved some signs, or asked the EDC to put up some signs, which will improve communication, especially if there's a water main break.
Oh, that's a great point. That's not in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will be something that the staff will need to implement. So, that's the website. We could put it under, really should go under 1, I guess, that talks about just overall accurate and transparent communications to the residents. So we'll just add a 3.1.7 that talks about implementing, we talked about three signs at key locations within the city. We'll come up with some wording on that unless somebody wants to, on the fly, come up with some wording.
I just went to this.
I guess there are electronic signs that can be controlled via laptop or remotely. Okay, moving right along. We need to keep the website current with ordinances and resolutions, and the staff's working on that now, but we need to make sure that the information that's out there on the website is accurate and up to date. And then the search capabilities, that's important. We want to try to develop status reports, and that will come from different people, but some quarterly planning, and we've done this kind of hit and miss too, with planning and zoning, parks and rec, EDC, get goal prioritization and status of their goals maybe on a quarterly basis so that we can stay current with what's going on. And the residents can, so it'll be reports to residents. The city manager, we have the city manager hosting some quarterly town halls. Again, Carly, I don't know how you want to do that, but that's, you know, up for edit. And then conduct at least an annual resident survey to solicit feedback.
So on the established quarterly town halls, we've talked about it before, and then we get so busy and it's a whole year and we haven't done any.
I agree.
So what if we, I mean, instead of putting us into that quarterly, what if we did something like establish a regularly scheduled town halls? Might be 3 times a year instead of 4. I don't know that we need it quarterly always, but we do need periodic town halls. So I feel like.
Periodic sounds good.
Periodic town hall, periodic scheduled town hall meetings. And then we can determine, you know, when that needs to be done. I think that would be a little better wording for that.
That is, right.
Okay.
It would be efficient to have, it'd be efficient to have the town hall on an evening when the council meets. No?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I wouldn't mind separating them, because
Okay.
one is kind of,
All right.
we're down to business, we're making some decisions. And then the other is just, to me, is to hear what the residents have on their mind that might have nothing to do with the agenda, that might have nothing to do with what we're meeting on.
And what would the structure of a town hall meeting look like?
Carly, you want to create your image of what you are envisioning?
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. So I think that that's really something that we would meet on and determine what's best for this, and we may even get community involvement, do a Survey Monkey, something like that. In my head, it is a regularly scheduled open meeting where they can, it's not on an agendized night, so it's not a quorum, we don't have to worry about timing. It's on a separate day. I'll bring food of some sort, whether it's cookies or snacks, to try to get more residents here to communicate with me. Council will hear their feedback. I'll get to meet more people and just have that dialogue where it's an open forum where citizens can come and know that I am also there working for them. My salary is paid by their tax dollars, so they can know that I'm another voice. Maybe they're complaining about council or something that has happened at an agendized meeting.
So basically, you would chair it.
I would be smiling and listening and facilitating, yes.
Okay.
So it would just be, and they may come and attack me, like, and that's fine too. It's just, it's for me to be there and be another opportunity for them to voice their concerns or opinions or positive feedback on the city.
And I view it as kind of an alternative to social media, because not everybody's on social media, and if you are, you might not want to engage. So this is a way to come and have another forum for community engagement.
And if you are on social media, this would be a great time to come and find out what, you know, what the facts are and, you know, where we can delineate a little bit more in more detail than what sometimes happens on Facebook.
You put your finger on the biggest problem. What's on social media is very often very distant from the fact.
Okay. And then we've been wanting to do this for a while, and that is that the council and city manager need to develop a governance policy. And our city has done that informally, and we want to formalize it, where we document the policies and procedures of city council and our working relationships between city council, city manager, all the boards, all the committees, and staff. So it's just kind of a working document of how we want to work together.
Basically, standard operating procedure that's not written down currently.
For council.
For council. And council should have their own ordinances that really set guidelines for us on how we operate. And we're seeing that would be beneficial, because I think sometimes, you know, when we kind of just learn on the fly, we each kind of have different ideas, and so that would help to solidify where we need to be.
Yeah, and different styles, and this is a way to standardize it a little bit. Okay, Jimbo, do you want to take enhanced safety and emergency preparedness?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if that's,
Yes. Please.
okay, so 4.1 is enhanced traffic pedestrian safety with communications, following through on the traffic calming devices regarding the new sidewalk and its implications. There's a bunch on here on the sidewalk. Everybody's tracking the sidewalk program. So just for awareness, I spoke with BJ briefly. Mr. Scheibel. Spoke with him briefly this evening about that, and just for clarity's sake, there are some things we can do with that sidewalk. More times than not, we are hamstrung right now just because we're pass-through funding is essentially all we are. We're the pass-through piggy bank. So just got to keep that in the back of our mind. But I know P&Z is looking diligently at the laws, working with PD on what we can and cannot do. How can we potentially restrict traffic of various natures on our sidewalk that's coming in, the safe sidewalk. So, but that one is, that is one of the biggest projects we've had in a while. So definitely want to keep up on that one as that continues to move forward and as it grows and finally gets put in place. So the four-way stop and 2483 Four Corners essentially is been mentioned many times. It's been discussed. I absolutely think that's something we definitely need to look at.
Can I interject something?
Please.
I don't know, it may end up being a four-way stop, but can we stay flexible, evaluate and implement traffic control or traffic slowing, safety? I mean, it's really for the pedestrians, because you and I talked briefly about, you know, maybe we have to get a cross guard there during, you know, busy times that the kids are going by. So I wouldn't mind taking out four-way stop and just making it a little broader.
Traffic control at
Yeah.
the intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've spoken with PD. Obviously, PD and fire are, you know, different entities and do different things at that area. I've spoken with PD about it, so definitely want to make sure that as council moves forward with that we tie in with those folks. And I don't know what the right answer is, but when we get a sidewalk in there, I think everybody's already identified that we're going to need something or somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So definitely needs to be a focus. In keeping with that is the foot, bike, and vehicle traffic concerns related to the new sidewalk. I've already touched kind of briefly on that one with P and Z. That's 4.1.2. 4.1.3 is the public safety announcements on traffic-related issues, including citations and speed deterrent methods. Spoke with a resident this evening. It was mentioned in public comment, one particular area. There are more than one. We have several areas in the city that we need to address. And I think council needs to, this is a first step, keeping that on the forefront. Looking at stop signs and some things like that, that we can put in place to just try to slow some residents down. So I think a lot of times in some of these areas, particularly over by Oakmont, it's people coming and going to Oakmont. They may not necessarily be our residents that are doing it, but be that as it may, there are some devices that we can put in place, so I think that one is critical to keep on there as well. Cost effectiveness in combination of public safety departments and take the appropriate action. I know the incoming, or the new, you're not incoming anymore, you're here, boom. Boom. I know Ms. Pearson is going to be taking a look at that and evaluating that. I know our residents, that's something that is during that whole process, council, you guys remember what that was like going through that process. So that one is another one to keep on the radar, to absolutely take a look at that and establish some, and I think council's going to be looking to you to establish some metrics on working with both Chief Schutze, Chief Sibley, and Chief Hodge on how that process is coming together. So
Yeah, and we have heard lots of feedback that, you know, our public safety area is a real strength of our city, and the residents really appreciate everybody keeping up to date and keeping certified, and so we want to keep the standards in a new organization. We want to just keep our eye on it.
4.2.2 is evaluate individual public safety services for effectiveness and necessity, such as the K-9 program. There's some ins and outs with that, so if you're interested, you can chat with PD on that one. The flock system, things of that nature, different programs that we have in place, and then take the appropriate actions, whether that's continuing those programs, refunding those programs, canceling those programs, or finding, as technology continues to evolve.
So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
would be something that when we have quarterly updates from our different departments, then they could address those issues at that time.
Sounds good.
4.2.3 is evaluate the cost benefit of the area watch and house watch programs. Consider transaction fees for those who request these services. I know those are used. A lot of folks use those. And they seem to be very effective. That would be something that I think we would have to gather some data from PD on, as far as, just bringing that kind of information forward to,
How often do we do it?
yeah, determine whether that's something that, I think our residents like it, those that use it, I think it gives them peace of mind. I know it would me. I don't ever get a vacation, so I don't know what that's like, but,
I'll vouch for it.
woe is me, yeah. 4.3, and there's a couple that, 4.3 is the evacuation plan, provide preliminary guidance to our residents. I think that one is critical. I think we would be foolish to remove that. I know we've been discussing that one for quite a while. That absolutely needs to be kept on the forefront with the wildfire dangers that we continue to have in town.
Those new signs may help.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of these programs will tie together, so, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, an evacuation plan might be something we could discuss at a town hall too, as just options. Because I was thinking about if there was a fire and you're trapped down at the end of Morgan's Point, Resort Road, you better head for the lake, because you aren't gonna get through. I mean, just things like that, we don't really have, that's off the top of my head, man, we don't have a plan like that. But that might be things that we should think about in a town hall, because we can't necessarily have a plan for every little detail, but just for residents to
Overall.
start thinking about what would we do if this? And then maybe the fire and PD could help us with that.
And what are the main exits
Yeah.
of the city, and, yeah.
Yeah, so 4.3 with the evacuation plan, and then moving into 4.4, and Councilmember Palin discussed the signage a couple times. That's what 4.4 is for our residents, is improved safety signage at certain areas of concern around Lake Belton, coordinate with the Corps of Engineers, Texas Parks and Wildlife. I would expand that personally to not, those areas obviously are key. Oakmont Park, no diving, no jumping, no cliff jumping, those kind of signs. But expand that to tying in with what we're talking about. We don't have evacuation routes. We right now don't have published evacuation routes, although we all know there's only 3. So, but as we develop that evacuation plan, I think the safety signage and then those digital signs, of course, are critical. And I had a thought on that I just lost, but I'll come back to that one.
Would you want to add something to the 4.3, the evacuation plan, about signage, or do you want to change 4.4?
I think guidance to residents could include signage that we can make as
Guidance,
we.
okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to
Okay.
specifically say that.
Okay.
I think we can
Yeah.
look into that.
Concur.
Yeah.
Yeah. The preliminary guidance to the residents is kind of what I had was just information, just making sure that we're providing information on what to do. Oh, that's what it was. So in addition to the safety signage kind of tied into that program, and for anybody who's interested, council or residents, you can chat with Chief Schutze, Director Schutze after this. Also, the continued improvement of our alert system, our sirens. For some of our residents that may not know, that process is ongoing, and we have made some upgrades to that. So getting those sirens in place so that everybody in the community can hear them, and the multiple tone sirens, so that when you hear a siren, of course, that's going to tie back into community education. So when you hear a siren on a day like this and you look up and go, I don't see a tornado, but I see lots of black clouds. Well, the wee woo siren is telling you to get out of town. So, and again, I would tie that into the signage. I'm not sure how to bring that one in there. Safety signage and systems.
Yeah, but I want to be specific, so we know at the end of the day if we've accomplished something or not, So if we're going to lump it under something, then let's have a list of what we're thinking about.
In coastal communities, it's very easy when there's a hurricane. There are big signs on the highway, evacuation route.
Yeah.
Here, we have 3 ways to get out, but it wouldn't hurt to have a sign here and there saying this is one evacuation route.
Yeah, concur. Yeah.
4? Okay, good.
When is,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you're still going that way. You still got to get out that way. Noted. 4.5 is enhance the wildfire mitigation program to ensure compliance with city-owned property easements, property owners, property maintenance. That program, I think, for those that have seen it, dealt with it, I think that program is, personally, I think it's making some very serious strides. It is a very slow process. And anybody who is interested that wants to come hang out with our fuels mitigation crew on Thursday and just kind of see what it is they do and the work they put in, let us know. We'll bring you out and you can kind of see, but that is absolutely a sustain. I do like the word enhance because I do think that, I think council needs to work with FD to figure out methods to continue to enhance that program and make it better, a little bit more, again, efficiency. If it's working, let's make it better and more robust. Great word.
But we have 50 years of deferred maintenance, and that's
Yes.
the problem.
Yeah.
But in the future, once it's under control, we can't give up. It's going to be an annual maintenance item.
Yeah, it needs to be cyclic.
Cyclical.
Tongue.
Cyclical. And that's just,
Cyclical.
that's, the first one is just the city easements and, but we also have individual properties that the city is not gonna go in and clear those lots, but we do need to have code compliance. Be in communication with those property owners that have a wildfire hazard on their lot. It's probably doesn't have a home, they probably don't even live here, they may have inherited it 30 years ago and have never even seen it, but it's going to affect our community if it's not cleaned up.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know if that falls under code compliance or.
Well, if you look at 4.5.1,
Okay.
it addresses that. Yeah, the next one.
Okay,
My understanding is that there are signs going out to these properties, but I don't know if any efforts have been made to contact absentees.
I think that's a big piece of it. I think we underestimate because they're a vacant lot. I mean, I know a lot of residents have multiple lots that they own. So we could start with residents first to clean up their lots, but we need to really go make it broader, I think.
Another thing, under the last manager, we talked about telling people that if they can't clean up, the city will do it and we'll send them a bill. I don't know that that's ever come to fruition, has it?
I don't think
Dennis
that's
was
ever-
not for that, and he basically didn't want to go in and start cleaning up other people's lots, especially since we have our own house to clean. We have our own easements and our own city
Yeah.
property that
And
he
our
wanted to
staff
focus
is-
on that first.
Our staff is certainly adequately involved.
Right, they're, yeah, fully employed, right, right.
Yeah. 4.5.2, I covered that one. Yep, 4.5.2 is evaluate current ordinances and refine as necessary for compliance. That's kind of a no-brainer. Absolutely keep it on here because it's something that we need to be evaluating, not just these ordinances, but all of our ordinances. I hate that door too, by the way. And then 4.5.3, this one I know a lot of our department heads, especially in the safety department, are continuing to evaluate all the options on funding personnel needed for compliance with within the city-owned properties and easements. Again, we discussed that. That's something that Ms. Pearson's gonna have to take a look at with staff and try to figure that out and how we manage that, how we manage the budget with the fuels mitigation crew, working with the safety center. So all of those I think are important, absolutely to keep on there. And I think they're measurable. I think we can measure success with staff reporting back through the city manager on getting feedback on those.
There's one other thing I was thinking of, and I'm not sure where it falls, but we want to aggressively evaluate annexations where it makes sense for the city, but I'm not sure, maybe it's under financial sustainability.
Yeah.
But we need to add something in there on annexations. Those do take time.
I think I would like
Would
some
it fit under
more feedback.
1.4.3 where it says evaluate new revenue generating opportunities and implement with existing and new billing systems? Could, on
Or under-
1.4.2?
Or under strategies, under 3, Status of ongoing major projects.
That's just communication. I'm talking about the actual implementation of an annexation. We can let staff take a crack at where they want to put it.
Sorry. I was gonna say you could add 1.4.6.
Yep,
Perfect.
yep, I like it. I
Your
like
mic's
that.
not
Yep.
I think it just goes out.
Apologies, I'll restate that for the record. I recommended to Councilwoman Allen that staff may evaluate and bring back to council. We add 1.4.6, the bottom of page 8, and make that something that was comprehensive to evaluate potential future annexations and retention of ETJ properties within the jurisdiction of Morgan's Point Resort.
Well stated.
What she said.
Anything else? You guys think this is good enough to get staff started on?
I think it's a great working document. I'm really glad that we have the post office in here too, because I really
Yes.
think that, you know, we just need our own zip code, because I think we lose revenue. If you order something from Amazon and they charge, it may end up in Belton and not by us, depending on if they catch it or not. And so those are something that I hope we can really pursue that zip. We did apply for a post office, I think a year and a half or so ago. And so that sometimes can take a while, but we will check with our senator again. And
Yeah, I think it's somewhat political too.
Yes,
So we
yeah.
need a political person on our side.
well, I
Right.
wrote him a letter,
Yeah,
our
oh, thank
senator,
you.
and said, thank you for, considering our need for a post office, and told him why we needed one. That was about 6 months after the fact, so I didn't hear back from him, so.
Okay, well, we'll get
I-
you.
I think it was John Carter. Yeah, I believe it was John Carter.
Okay,
Council, any additional discussion on the strategic work plan at this time? Nope, okay. Next item up is item 5, real quick, not real quick, you don't feel rushed. Item 5 is the city manager updates.
we're gonna have that under the regular agenda.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just anything, you can speak from her, please.
Okay, well, city manager updates today are pretty quick. It's me. So I'm the update. I just started last week. I've had a blast on my first 6 days, getting to meet with the directors, staff, and council. I'm very excited. I think everything is very positive and nothing is unovercomable. I still have many meetings left to go to get introduced to the rest of council, staff, stakeholders, board and commission members. And I look forward to that in the next couple weeks and working with our city secretary, who's been an invaluable help this week in helping getting me onboarded. So thank you, Kelly. And just meeting with council and mayor, thank you for spending so much time with me. And we'll continue to keep working to get me onboarded and up to speed. But y'all know where City Hall is, so please feel free to stop by. I have learned that my door will always be closed because apparently I'm always in a meeting. But please knock, and I'm always there. So my door will always be open. I'll find a slot for anyone who wants to meet with me, resident, council, or otherwise. It doesn't matter. I'm excited to learn everything that I need to know and that you want me to know about Morgan's Point Resort. And I'm blessed to be here. So thank you for having me, and thank you everyone who's worked with me this first week to help me get on board.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Council residents,